let's get started with my winners and losers in the NFL Combine. And I'm going to put an emphasis on 40-yard dashes because I love 40-yard dashes. They're one of my favorite things. Football people can't stand the 40-yard dash. And I'm going, no, I live to watch enormous men run in their underwear. 40-yard dash in a straight line. And the faster they run it, the more giddy I get, all right? There's something especially awesome about watching a 341-pound man in his skivvies drop 4.78. You're just not going to see it. All right, that's where I'm at here. So to start with that, let's go with number one. Winner, Ohio State wide receiver Chris Olave. Perhaps the most polished wideout in the NFL draft. Has legitimate 4.3 speed, if barely at 4.39. However, his top end speed is now in the 1%, right? Like that's the thing. We all knew that Chris Olave was one of the great route runners in the sport, and him choosing to return was a boon for Ohio State. But the take on him was that with his returning, the average rating of the wide receiver room goes down because he was a 3-star recruit coming out of high school. As a matter of fact, you'll remember Ryan Day and the crew had gone to scout Jack Tuttle and saw this dude, Chris Olave, and was like, oh, who is that? Cool. I think we want to offer him too because they like what they saw. And it's nice to see that his game speed is really that great. And I think if anything else, you're looking at him as a wide receiver one now in place of maybe a Jameson Williams who is coming off of a blown ACL, but perhaps would have been the fastest wide receiver at the NFL Combine if he was healthy. So really great win for Chris Olave. Also, you can read this entire list at foxsports.com. It went up on a Monday. We were talking about it on Wednesday. And number two on this list, a winner, Iowa State running back Breece Hall. A workhorse tailback with 4.4 speed, elite explosion, a known ability to put the offense on his back. That's my RB1 after this combine, which is saying a lot. Hall was a unanimous All-American at Iowa State, the first in school history. That's also saying a lot because Troy Davis was a Heisman finalist for 2 consecutive years, rushed for 2,000 yards plus in both of those years. And his running backs coach at Iowa State is also USFL Pittsburgh Maulers coach, Kirby Wilson. That's a tease because we're going to talk to Coach Wilson a little bit later on about, among other things, coaching a guy like Troy Davis. I put Hall at that RB1 spot ahead of Kenny Walker III, who ran 4.38 to Hall's 4.39 because, I mean, Hall basically kept this up for the entirety of the combine. He leaped 40 inches in the vertical leap. Walker did 34. He's also rushed for 3,941 yards over the course of his career, 5.5 yards per carry. Again, I edge him over Walker, who had 1,636 yards last season and was a Heisman finalist. I think he finished 6th in the Heisman voting. But when you put that in comparison, Abram Smith ran for 1,601 at Baylor, and there's still a lot of people that don't know Abram Smith's name to tell you what the running back group was like last year. Because I remember thinking about just how great the running backs were in 2021 with not just Walker and Hall, but guys like Travion Henderson, who came into his own, and others like Bijan Robinson, whose season was ended shortly after he suffered an injury on a bad football team that I expect to be good this year. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. And at number 3, we got our first loser on the list. That is for the NFL Combine, not overall, for you want to get actually into your feelings about Notre Dame running back KYREN Williams, who ran really slow in his 40-yard dash, just 4.65 seconds. You could say he plays faster than that, and I would agree with you, but the time is the time, especially for a dude that Brian Kelly, when he was the head coach at Notre Dame, claimed he was thinking about putting in the slot. You don't put slow people in the slot. That's not how that works. And I did not expect Kevin Austin, who's a Notre Dame wide receiver, to run faster than KYREN Williams and who was heavier than KYREN Williams. It's not just that he was slow at 4.65, it's that he only weighed 194 pounds. And we've seen bigger, faster, stronger men at the combine. So if you were looking for some blazing speed from him, and I was looking for a dude that was at the very least going to roll in the 4.5s, if not roll in the sub 4.4s, like a Breece Hall, like a Kenny Walker. That just wasn't it, especially when you add into this that UGA outside linebacker Trayvon Walker ran 4.51 seconds at 6'5", 272. Not for nothing, but even the Georgia punter was fast. Like, all the Georgia dudes could fly. I'm not sure what's in the water at Athens, but every last one of them is moving. That's not the last Georgia player you're going to hear about, not even the punter who ran, I think, faster than 9 wide receivers and 9 running backs. That's just ridiculous. I still think KYREN Williams is going to be a pretty doggone good NFL tailback, but I don't think the Combine did anything to help him, hence the loser label. Number 4 on this list, producer Cat's favorite, Liberty quarterback MALIK WILLIS. It's not just that he is, the favorite to come off the board first. Fox Bet has him at minus 149 to be the first guy off the board to whomever decides to take him. There's a number of quarterbacks, not just in this draft, but a number of teams that could be looking to take quarterbacks, though none of them is Denver. Yo, speaking of which, hey, Seattle, go get my man Kyler from Arizona. They don't want him. They don't want him. Go get him and let him throw the ball to Tulsa's own Tyler Lockett. Let him see what it's like to be tossing passes to DK Metcalf. But that, I'm going to leave that for later. All right? MALIK WILLIS started 23 games at Liberty, going 17-6 with 5,100 pass yards, 1,800 rush yards, and 74 total TDs responsible for. He's also a recorded Good Samaritan and boasts a healthy understanding of himself. As far as Good Samaritan, someone got video of him as MALIK WILLIS was appearing to hand out clothes and or food to someone on the street that needed a bit of help. And that's also in keeping with MALIK WILLIS. As a matter of fact, at the Senior Bowl, he was asked about, what he was looking to do as far as be the first dude off the board and all that sort of thing. And he said, I'm not really wanting to talk about that. He's very grounded in his faith. He's very grounded in who he is. And he had this money quote at the Combine. It's lengthy, so I'm just going to go through it. Somebody's always going to think you're trash. Everybody's going to have an opinion of you. So if you focus so hard on what everybody's opinion is of you, you're never going to be happy. I want to be happy, so I'm not going to think about it. You can say what you want. I'm going to let the opinion of people I trust and can respect affect me. Extremely well said, and it's even harder to walk through because so many of us are influenced by what other people feel because we're human beings and we're social animals. But it is a good effect that he has on himself, especially being a quarterback. My knock on MALIK WILLIS is you can't beat out Jarrett Stidham at Auburn. And Jarrett Stidham isn't very good in the NFL. Just period, right? I know that he was going to be a dude, and I know what he was meant to be. But I still kind of am in my feelings about that. Why does a guy that we're all pumping up now could not beat out a dude that might be, the third best quarterback in New England? I say he won this week, though, because he showed some ability that we all wanted to see, throwing 80-yard bombs. He's got a cannon for an arm. He's got great mobility, and he seems to have a healthy understanding of what his job is. So from that standpoint, he's certainly ahead of number 5 on this list, who I label as the second loser on this list, Ole Miss quarterback Matt Corral, because I think Corral suffered the most from this. And as far as quarterbacks, it's a guy that suffered an injury in the Sugar Bowl, right? Could have been aggravated during workouts. But the thing that really messes with me is he's going to perform at his pro day. So it's not the ankle that he's protecting. He just didn't want to go throw and perform at the Combine, even if he went through interviews. It just begs the question, why not put on for the mini scouts in attendance at the league's annual company convention? I would have liked to have seen Matt Corral participate in the drills and probably could have moved up to QB1. Instead, we're looking at MALIK WILLIS taking over that spot from him, when many people going into this draft probably thought that Matt Corral was the guy. But if you were looking for somebody who's coming to have to compete, you're probably going to go with MALIK WILLIS ahead of Matt Corral. At number 6 on this list, winner, Cincinnati wide receiver ALEC Pierce. The Reggie Cleveland All-Star ran 4.41 seconds in the 40-yard dash. He also vertically leaped 40.5 inches at 6'3", 211 pounds. Again, referring back to earlier to the first loser on this list, KYREN Williams running 4.65 at 194. ALEC Pierce running 4.41 at 211. You see what I'm saying here? I'm saying that at the local Y, ALEC Pierce is probably going by Baba Yaga or John Wick, depending on, who's talking to him, whether or not that person's Russian or, Bulgarian, Hungarian, whatnot. Billy Hoyle is probably over there somewhere to yelling to all of us. I told y'all. If you don't understand the Billy Hoyle reference, you probably listened to the wrong show. Now, all I really want to do, though, is throw it off the glass to ALEC Pierce at the first annual 2-on-2 for Brotherhood basketball tournament. Again, if you don't get the reference, you're listening to the wrong show. Shout out Jack Harlow is going to do the reboot because I saw that man in the Celebrity All-Star game. He was feeling himself. He ain't got no game, but he was feeling himself. All right, number 7 on this list. Winner, Virginia tight end Jelani Woods. Okay, I got to know Jelani Woods first at Oklahoma State, where he played the quote-unquote cowboy back role, which is an H-back / tight end role, where he frankly did not get enough of the ball. And I'm going to prove it to you. At 6'7", Jelani Woods ran 4.61 in the 40, pumped out 24 reps on bench. And, you know, this is on top of last year. He caught 44 passes for 598 yards from Brendan Armstrong with 8 touchdowns at UVA. What I'm telling you is that Jelani Woods is a bigger, stronger, faster human being than Luke Cage, okay? Than Carl Lucas, okay? Than Power Man. But he ain't heavier because, you know, Luke Cage is 425 pounds because the nature of his superhuman strength means a lot of gravity. There's a lot of physics involved that don't make any sense, but you get what I'm saying is Jelani Woods is bigger, faster, stronger than an actual superhero, okay? That's saying a lot there. Go draft that man because I want to see him lining up in the slot on some skinny, small, slight, strong safety. I think he could give Jalen Ramsey the business. Come see me about it, Jalen. Come talk about it on the show. We can talk about it. You can have it out with me. You and I, we can have our own little tete-a-tete, you know, like they do on the debate shows. Thanks for watching this video. And remember, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any other videos on the #1 ranked show YouTube channel.